The Pope is the successor of Peter, the visible head of the Catholic Church. But what does that power actually look like in practice? There are decisions that no bishop, no cardinal, and no council can make without him. These aren't just symbolic moves, they are game-changing moments that can alter the Church's direction, doctrine, or destiny. Here are 5 of the most powerful decisions that only the Pope can make, and why the Church has entrusted them to one man alone. Number 5. Proclaiming an ex cathedra dogma when the Pope speaks infallibly. Perhaps the most awe-inspiring and most misunderstood authority the Pope holds is the power to proclaim a teaching ex cathedra, or from the chair of Peter. This means that when he speaks as the supreme pastor and teacher of all Christians, defining a doctrine concerning faith or morals to be held by the whole Church, that teaching is considered infallible. But this doesn't happen often. In fact, in the past 2 centuries, it has happened only twice. First, in 1854, Pope Pius IX defined the dogma of the Immaculate Conception of Mary, teaching that she was conceived without original sin. Then in 1950, Pope Pius XII proclaimed the dogma of the Assumption of Mary, stating that she was taken body and soul into heaven at the end of her earthly life. These moments are rare not because popes fear controversy, but because such declarations are permanent, irreversible, and carry the full weight of heaven and earth. When the Pope speaks ex cathedra, it is not merely a statement, it is a moment of definitive guidance for the entire Catholic world. This authority comes not from charisma or popularity, but from a sacred trust that the successor of Peter, under the protection of the Holy Spirit, will not lead the Church into error when speaking with the fullness of his office. No other person on earth, no matter how holy or learned, can speak with that same level of finality. It's not something done lightly. Before any ex cathedra declaration, there are years of theological study, consultation with bishops and theologians, and global discernment. But when it happens, it becomes part of the living, breathing foundation of the Catholic faith. Number 4, creating cardinals, shaping the future of the Church. Every few years, the Pope announces a consistory, a gathering where he elevates new members to the College of Cardinals. These are not just promotions. They are among the most strategic moves a Pope can make. Why? Because the College of Cardinals does more than advise the Pope. They are the ones who will enter the Sistine Chapel after his death or resignation and choose his successor. Only the Pope has the authority to name cardinals. He can choose archbishops of major dioceses, heads of Vatican congregations, or, as recent popes have increasingly done, bishops from small, often overlooked parts of the world. When Pope Francis named cardinals from countries like Laos, Mongolia, and Tonga, it sent a message. The Church is not a European institution. It is global, diverse, and reaching to the margins. But naming cardinals isn't just about representation. It's about vision. Each cardinal chosen reflects something about the Pope's priorities, whether evangelization, social justice, doctrinal clarity, or pastoral reform. And the Pope alone decides. No synod can overrule it. No bishop can demand it. The decision to create a cardinal rests solely with Peter's successor. And though popes can't name their own successor, in naming cardinals, they quietly shape the conclave that will choose the next one. Number 3, declaring someone a saint, opening heaven to the faithful. Canonization is one of the most joyous acts in the life of the Church. It is not just a celebration of holiness. It is a declaration from the Pope himself that this person is in heaven, interceding for us. The process is long and detailed. Investigations into the person's life, writings, virtues, and at least 2 confirmed miracles. But even after all that work, only the Pope can declare someone a saint. When the Pope canonizes, he is not just honoring a good life. He is telling the entire world, here is someone you can trust to guide you spiritually. Their life is now a model for all Catholics, and their name will be remembered in the prayers of the Church forever. It's a moment of unity. Catholics from every continent gather in St. Peter's Square or in their local parishes, watching the Mass and hearing the Pope say the words, "We declare and define that this servant of God is to be a saint." And that declaration is final. No appeal, no reversal. It is a recognition that heaven has touched earth and that the church now has one more friend in glory. Only the Pope can open that door. Only the Pope can canonize. And when he does, it's a decision that echoes into eternity. Number 2, calling an ecumenical council, gathering the bishops of the world. Councils have shaped the church's teaching more than almost anything else. The Nicene Creed, the structure of the sacraments, the response to the Reformation, the renewal of Vatican II, all happened at ecumenical councils. But what many forget is this: only the Pope can call one. He decides when and where it happens. He sets the agenda, and he must personally confirm all of its decisions before they have authority. Even with hundreds of bishops present, no council is valid without the Pope's approval. This authority isn't about control, it's about unity. The Pope ensures that the voice of the universal church speaks in harmony. Without him, a council is just a conference. With him, it becomes a moment of divine clarity. When Pope John the 23rd called Vatican II, few expected it to be revolutionary, but his bold acts set the stage for liturgical renewal, dialogue with other faiths, and a new vision for the laity. That moment came from a single papal decision. No bishop, no group of bishops, no patriarch can call a council. Only the Pope can summon the entire church to listen, pray, and discern together. Number 1, changing the catechism and canon law. Defining how the church lives. The Catechism of the Catholic Church is the church's official summary of what we believe. The Code of Canon Law governs everything from sacraments to parish structure to how bishops operate. And while these texts are the result of years of study, commissions, and feedback, only the Pope can officially change them. When Pope John Paul II promulgated the Catechism in 1992, he gave the Church a modern articulation of the faith that still shapes catechesis today. When Pope Francis updated the teaching on the death penalty, it sparked global reflection. The Pope can also reform canon law, adjusting legal norms to address abuse, clarify discipline, or support mission. These changes are not superficial. They shape the way the Church prays, teaches, governs, and grows. And behind every change is a papal signature. The world may vote, discuss, and propose. But when it comes to doctrine and church law, only the Pope can say, "This is how we move forward." In a world that often questions centralized authority, the role of the Pope stands apart, not as a dictator, but as a servant with sacred responsibilities. These 5 decisions aren't about ego, they're about mission. They are the Church saying, "Here is one man, chosen to guard truth, guide unity, and carry the voice of Peter." Because when a Pope speaks, not for himself, but for the whole Church, his words can change not just policies, but people, not just history, but eternity. Which of these papal powers would you want to see used more often or more carefully? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more sacred stories that reveal the hidden strength behind the white cassock.